Good morning, student. Today we will start with the chapter 4 of history, tribals, Jikus, and the vision of a golden age. In this lesson, we will study about the tribes, the community, the Jikus who are called outsiders, and the vision. Vision means to see, means they struggle for the golden age, and that we will study in this lesson. So let's start with the lesson. So before starting the lesson, let me you can see there is an image of Birsa Munda. So in 1895, a man named Birsa was seen roaming the forest and villages of the Chota Nagpur in Bihar, and the people they used to say that he have a lot of powers. What powers he have? He have a power to cure the disease and to multiply the grain. Grain means the cereal. They can multiply the grain. And Birsa himself declared, he also declared that he actually God appointed him to save the people from the trouble, free them from the slavery of the Jikus, means outsider. Soon, thousands began following Birsa, believing that he was a Bhagwan, like we say in Hindi, God, Bhagwan, and he had come to solve all their problems. So again, I'm telling you, in 1895, the man named, you can see the picture of Birsa Munda also. So he actually, the people believe that he can cure the disease and he can multiply the grain also, and he himself also declare that what he declared, that he will free the people from the trouble, and the God appointed him for this purpose. So Birsa was born in the family of the Mundas, a tribal group that lived in the Chota Nagpur, and their followers who follow them, the Santals and Oran also follow them. All of them in the different way are unhappy with the changes they were experiencing and the problems they are facing under British rule. As you know about the British rule, how the Britishers they made the people slave and they rule our country. So the many people they are facing many problems, and they want to get rid of all these things. So their family, they all are facing so much of problem, so their familiar ways of life seem to be disappearing. Their livelihood were under threat, means all they are feeling that they are under threat because they are under the control of British rule, and their region appeared to be in the danger. You can see how the people they are struggling, they are crossing the river to go to the market. Can you believe that you can also go to the market like crossing this river? So these are the struggles, though the Britishers they make the control over them and they are suffering a lot. So what problem did Birsa set out to resolve? Now what are the problems that the Birsa set out to resolve, mean to how he solved? So who were the outsiders being referred to? The Dikus. The Dikus are the outsider. And how did they enclave the people of this region? What was happened to the tribal people under the British rule? How did their lives change? How they when the British control all the people, how their lives are changed? So these were the some questions you will read about in this lesson. You have to read about the tribal society last year, but most tribes had custom and the rituals that were different from those laid down by the Brahmins. These society also did not have a sharp social division that were characteristic of caste society. All those who belonged to the same tribe thought themselves as sharing common ties of kingship. Means the people who belongs to the same tribes, they also feel the feeling like sharing common ties of the kingship. However, this did not mean that they are having no social and economic differences within the tribes. They have lot of differences. They have low, when they belong to different tribes, they have the different custom, they have the different tradition. So in this we will study about the how the problems are resolved by the Birsan Han, how he set out the problems. How did the tribal group live by the 19th century? Tribal people in the different parts of India were involved in a variety of activities. So before explaining let me tell you what is actually by the 19th century, the people that they are living in the tribal society, they are involved in the different activities. And one by one I will take the different activity. First I will take the human cultivators. Some of them, they practice zoom cultivation. What is actually it is? It is shifting cultivation. Let me like, you know what is shifting? One by one, like you move on, keep on moving, shifting from one place to another place. So similarly what they are doing, how they are shifting, let me explain you. This was done on the small patches of the land. You know what is patch? It is a small piece, so small piece of land, mostly in the forest. The cultivator cut the tree top to allow the sunlight to reach the ground, and then what they do, they burn the vegetation on the land and clear it for the cultivation. And they spread the ash from the firing, which contain potash, to fertilize the soil. They used to axe to cut the trees and hoe to the scratch the soil in order to prepare it for the cultivation. So when they cultivate, when the cultivation is done, again they move to the another patch. They broadcast the seed, that is scattered the seed on the field instead of plowing the land and sowing the seed. Once the crop was already harvested, they move to another. So similarly I am telling you that they make a patch, they clear it, they burn it, like, then they, when the cultivation is done on that patch, they move to the another patch. So they do it, why they do it? Because they think that cultivating crop only on the one place will reduce the fertility of the soil. So a field that had been cultivated once was left fallow for several years. So why they are left for several years? So that the fertility of the soil come back again. Shifting cultivator were found in the hilly and the forest tract of the northeast and the central India. You can underline this. This is important. Shifting cultivator, where they are found in the hilly and the forested tract of the northeast and the central India. The lives of these tribal people depend on the free movement within the, means they keep on moving in the forest only for the things they use. So what they use the land and the forest for growing their crops. That is the only way they could practice shifting cultivation. Again I am telling you what is actually shifting cultivation. They are making a small patches, like they are cultivating on the small patches, they are burning it, and then they are moving to the another place. So that is why they were moving from one place to another, like they are shifting the cultivation for, so that the land should again be fertile. Somewhere the hunters and the gatherers. Now for I have told you about the cultivation, now I will tell you about the hunter and the gatherers. Before explaining hunters and the gatherers, let me tell you, you have read in class 6 also about who is a hunter, who hunt animals, and who are the gatherers, who collect the food, fruits and anything from the forest. So now I will tell you, in many regions the tribal groups live by hunting animals. Means many tribal group, they live by hunting of animals and gathering forest produce. Means whatever they are finding in the forest, any eatable things, like, so that they are gathering from the forest. They saw forest as essential for survival. The Kondas were such as community living in the forest of Odisha. So you can see they are collecting things from the forest, and they are regularly went out to collective hunt and divide the meat among themselves. So they are eating the meat also, and they are eating the fruits, roots collected from the forest, and cooked food with the oil extract from the seed of the sal and the maua. They used many forest shrubs and herbs for the medical purpose also. Again I am telling you, they used to hunt animals, they used to collect the forest fruits and roots, and they used to cook the food in the oil that are extract from the sal and the maua seeds. And they also used many shrubs for making the medicines also, because at that time there was no doctors, so facilities were not so much there. So they used to make the medicine, and they sold the forest produce in the local market also. So the next one is, from where did these forest people get their supplies of rice and their grains? So you are thinking, from where they are getting it, the supplies of rice and grains. At the time they exchange goods, getting what they need in return for their valuable forest produce, at other times they bought goods with a small amount of earning they had. As they get earning, when they are earning, then they are buying also, they are spending also to for buying. They bought goods with the small amount of earning they had, because they have odd jobs. Why? What is actually odd job? I mean, they don't have regular jobs like now in the village, carrying loads of building, whatever work they are getting, they are doing it. So that we call odd jobs, means they are doing the various work like carrying loads, building roads, while other labor in the field of the peasants and the farmers. When supplies of the forest produce shrank, the tribal people had to increasingly wander in search of. When the supply of the forest produce they decreases, what actually happened? The people, they now they are roaming here and there for the search of work as a laborer. But many of them, like because in central India, were neglected to do the work of the other. As you can see, they have to do the work and for their living, so they are searching the work for, as they are doing the work of the laborer also. So the tribal group often need to buy and sell in order to be able to get the goods that were not produced within the locality. This lead to the dependence on the trade and the moneylender. Now what they are doing, they are buying and selling in order to able to get goods. So for that they are depending on whom? The traders and the moneylenders. The trader came around with the things for the sale. Now you know who is a trader, who sell the things and sold the goods at a high price, and moneylender, they give loans. Moneylender is a person who give loans. But as you know that they have to pay the interest also. They charge interest, means the amount they have taken loan, on that amount they have to pay the interest. So that interest were very high. The loan they have taken was have a high interest. So for the tribal market and the commerce often mean debt and poverty. So there were a lot of debts, means they have to pay a lot as the rate of interest is so high. There's a lot of poverty was there. So therefore came to see the moneylender and the trader as a evil outsiders and the cause of their misery. So the moneylender and the trader, they are evil, means they are very bad, outsider, evil. So they cause they give lot of they are not happy with them. They are from the moneylender and from the outsider. Some herder animals, many tribal group live by herding and rearing animals. They are also moving from one place to another. When the grace of one place was exhausted, they keep on moving to the another place. And they have to use they are using like goats they are using. So you will read about them in the history book next year. So this is, by this also they are earning this money, like this is also happening. So I hope so this part is clear to you. Read the lesson thoroughly, go through the chapter and underline all the important terms. Thank you. Have a nice day.